All right, so Mr. Pepard and Ms. Mendoza Noriega, you're the petitioners in this case. You get to go first, so go right ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. So on the 18th of October, Mr. Mitchell assaulted my wife with an unprovoked attack. My wife called 911, and I would like to draw your attention to that 911 call because it's clear the level of distress in Michelle's voice. And you can also hear Mr. Mitchell continue to threaten her in the 911 call audio. Furthermore, in the respondent's statement, he claimed that he approached Michelle carefully and cautiously because of a perceived history. Um, However, he still admits that he took the piece of equipment from Michelle after he admits that Michelle had denied her or denied him 3 times to take that piece of equipment. And honestly, I feel for the safety of my wife and my family. And as a result of this unprovoked attack, the respondent has proved to be unstable and not able to control his emotions or impulses, and I fear that the escalation of this may turn into a sexual assault or fatal injury in the future. Since that date until now, I've already purchased protective equipment with a total cost of $891.38, including recording glasses and self-defense pepper ball launcher. Um, I feel that a protective order is necessary.
And when someone's that scared, it changes everything. This isn't about petty arguments or misunderstandings, it's about survival mode. You can hear it in his voice, see it in his posture. He's not trying to win a court battle, he's trying to prevent a disaster. It's the mention of self-defense weapons. That's not casual. It's a man preparing for the worst because he truly believes it might come. And that should make everyone in the courtroom pause.
Chance, because if I recall, you're the person who was involved in it.
Correct. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Are you asking me to explain what happened that day? Okay. Um,
Yes.
I was working out that day, around 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I was there. I was on a section where there's cables, and I had a cable hooked onto my left foot at the time. I'm sorry, and I didn't see who was around me until I felt a presence of like a person to my left side, and I have my headphones in. As I'm doing the exercise, I look over and I realize who it is. Don't have I don't know him personally, but I have a history with him because for the past 10 years at that gym, he has always tried to intimidate me with his stares and looks. So like I already don't want to be near this person. I try my best to avoid him. So when I first saw him, I was like frazzled and like, whoa, why are you so close to me? Like face to face close. And he asks me, I take my headphone out as I realized, can I use this bench? And on the bench was my belongings, my phone, my water bottle, and my fanny pack at the time. I was using the bench, but I told him no. He says that he asked me 3 times. He never asked me 3 times, Your Honor. He asked me once, and I told him no, firmly no. He seemed to not take that well, so what he did was he started reaching for the bench with both his hands while my stuff was on there. So I just reacted and I told him I'm using it once again. So I grabbed the bench too. So he's got his 2 arms, hands holding it at the bottom. And so I grab on top. And so I just react again and I try to sit on it. Maybe not my best choice, but I tried to sit on it, but I was too slow. So he already had it in midair and I tried to grab it again. My stuff fell all over the floor. He claims in the police report that he gently put it on the ground just to make sure her stuff didn't fall. That's blatantly a false lie, Your Honor. My stuff fell and I reacted. So as I'm grabbing the bench and he's grabbing the bench and we have a hold on it, both of us, he pulls. Obviously, he's stronger than me. He's a man's strength compared to a woman. There's no competition there, so he pulls hard. I try to pull back, and while we're doing that, he has it in his hands, but then he proceeds, because he sees that I'm not letting go, he proceeds to like push me off like this, like very hard, and then he nudges me, like he uses his body because he sees that I try to grab it again, and he uses his body and like nudges me over. And then he's like, word for word, Your Honor, he said, girl, please, I'm taking it. You're not using it. I'm taking it. So he finally has the hold of the bench. I am not gonna fight a man because I have no comparison. So I reacted, properly. I feel like I put my hands up and I immediately was just like stressed out and scared because I didn't know what he was gonna do. And as I'm calling 911, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm traumatized by it because I've never had this happen, but I'm calling 911 shaking, and I'm telling the operator that I just got assaulted, and girl, watch your mouth, and gets in my face. Like, as I have the phone in my hand, he's in my face, and he's a big guy, right? So I'm just like hoping that like this 911 call can hear it, so like at least if I get hurt, they know that it's this man. And so then I'm like, watch my mouth, okay? And I tell the operator, can you hear him? And the operator obviously confirms that. She's like, yeah, I can hear him. And then she asks me where I'm at. And then as soon as that, he says, girl, you better watch out. Girl, you better watch out, twice. And got in my face. I'm surprised nobody helped me, Your Honor. Staff implied that I'm fit enough to protect myself. Nobody believes me, and I just feel very like scared. I'm on edge. I have a new baby, and I have another child. And not even at just the gym, Your Honor. I don't feel safe out and about with my kids or my family. And just a very I'm just scared, Your Honor, and I don't like to live in fear. We go to the same gym facility. I don't know him personally, and he is one of those people that keeps telling. He talks to everybody, is what he has said, and talks to so many people. And my neighbor is a witness to knowing that he overheard him speaking about the situation, just blabbing about, what I have done when I called 911 against him. So I know he's speaking ill of me, and I know that's not an offense, but I don't feel safe, Your Honor, because he has like other men that he speaks with that I observe, and like I'm scared that I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm with my child, my baby, which is right here, my other baby, and he's gonna attack me from the back. Like the words of watch out, watch your mouth, and got in my face. I just I'm so traumatized by it, Your Honor, and I want this to be over with, and this is majority for the safety of myself and my family, and I don't want anything to happen to where that's when people pay attention, Your Honor. I tried to avoid him and keep my distance even before this incident happened, and I kept my distance because I knew I had this bad feeling about this man. He has ill intent with the way he stares at me. He at the gym after the incident, I was working out, and him and some other woman I don't know stares. Like they lasted about 2 to 3 minutes each time, and they were just both with their arms like this looking at me. And I don't know what's gonna happen to me if I go into the locker room. I don't know who he knows. I stand out. I know I stand out, and I don't know who he has spoke about me and who is out there to hurt me. And that's how on edge and I am right now. I need this protection order, Your Honor, because I just want this to end and leave on good terms, Your Honor. When he got served, you didn't receive the video one time, but we have evidence in the video where he got served, and you hear a man in the background. I don't know who it is, but you see him and you don't see the man in the background. And the man in the background is saying, "Oh, is that a restraining order?" and starts laughing. And then the man who served him was like, "Yeah, it is." And then the other man, the person we can't see, was laughing about the incident. He's like, "Oh, I was just kidding. Are you serious? Ha ha ha." Thinking it's a joke. No.
Absolutely. Michelle's voice alone tells the story cracked, tense, holding back years of built-up fear. When she says, "Girl, please," it's not just a reaction. It's a survival reflex, the kind you develop after being made to feel small for far too long. That moment strips away all courtroom formality and shows us the human cost of intimidation. Even if no punches were thrown, her fear was tangible. And in cases like this, fear is the harm. The emotional weight she carries into that courtroom speaks louder than any physical evidence ever could.
Or any person's safety is a joke, Your Honor. And I'm just like, I don't feel good. I don't feel safe is my point. So that's all I have to say.
Well, Mr. Mitchell, why don't you go ahead and tell me your side of it, and then I'll make a decision.
Okay. Statements of what they saw. I have an eyewitness to everything, and I have all this here. Plus, took a while to get management because everybody's spread out. So, but I finally got it, so I wasn't able to file it any type of way. And plus, photographs of how Michelle and I know each other. This is a bodybuilding days back in the day, and I also have pictures of where we were in the gym, and that's the stand that we speak of. So I just had this before. So anyway, that particular day, Your Honor, I come in like any other day. Everyone knows me from the gym. I've been there over 20 years. I'm a personal trainer there also. I just work certain times. I don't work every day, but bottom line is everyone knows who I am. They come up to me, they speak to me, whatever the case is. It's just, they call me the mayor. That's the little nickname they give me. But anyway, Michelle, that particular day, so I'm gonna go right to the incidents. That particular day I come in, walk in, it's shoulder day. I decide to go work out where I always do by the Smith machine. And if they do use it, they always use it for the wrong reason. They store stuff on top of it. So 99% of the time, if you go up to someone and you notice that stool is in the corner because that's where it sits, management wanted to get rid of the stool, but they kept it around because I asked them to keep it because it's very old. Anyway, I noticed that it's over there by Michelle. And I said, man, I took a deep breath and I said, man, let me walk over there anyway. So I noticed that she's on her phone. She has her maybe earbuds in the ear, I suppose, but it's Michelle. And there's a history about Michelle that her and I have encountered back in 2018, which was another line incident, but that's another story. But anyway, it was settled. I thought it was settled, but I haven't spoken to Michelle since 2018, period. Okay, don't look at her, don't talk to her. I don't have anything to say to her since 2018. So that particular day, she's standing in the corner, and the bench is there, not being used, but I noticed that it has her water bottle and I think maybe a jacket on top of it. I can't recall. But I know her cell phone wasn't on top of it because she was on her cell phone, appeared to be texting someone. I go up to her, take a deep breath, I tap the bench, never touch her, okay? I say, hey, are you using this bench? She notices that is me. She turns around and she says, I'm using this bench to store my belongings on top of. So I say, well, Michelle, if you're not going to use the bench for what it's used for, I would like to use it. She repeats herself the second time and says, well, I said again, I am storing my stuff on top of the bench.
This is where things get murky. Mitchell's calm confidence might look like control to some, but to others, it reeks of manipulation. When someone walks in acting like the accusations are just noise, it raises red flags. They call me the mayor isn't just name dropping, it's a flex. It's a way of saying, I've got influence, I don't belong here. But the real question is, does that attitude come from innocence or entitlement? Because there's a thin line between staying composed, okay, and acting like the consequences don't apply to you.
The attached police report recordings that were made and written statements that were also made and submitted to the court. Now, before really anything else, I think it's clear that the petition here does not establish a course of conduct, and all by itself, that's fatal to the petition. So in other words, in order for unlawful harassment to occur under the law, there has to be what's called a course of conduct, which is a series of events that are directed at a specific person that are detrimental or harmful to that person. And this is an incident, not a course of conduct. So all by itself, that would be a reason that the order could not be issued. And that may very well be why a temporary order was not issued either. And then on top of that, I've listened to both of you, well, all three of you. I guess mainly it's Ms. Mendoza-Noriega, because she's the person who was present and witnessed the events. the description of what occurred here, which has been told to me by Ms. Mendoza-Noriega, been told to me by Mr. Mitchell, and I've read it in the police report and the written statements that were submitted by both sides. Even that does not establish that an assault occurred. So even if this were to be based on a single incident, I can't find by a preponderance of the evidence that an assault occurred here in the disagreement over who is going to use the table or the bench or the stool or however it's characterized. So there's no basis to issue an order in this case, so the petition for a anti-harassment order will be denied. Right, I've written up a written order consistent with the decision that I just announced, and it'll be available to all the parties. And Mr. Mitchell, since you're here, you can just get a copy of it from the clerk. Yeah, she'll make a copy of it for you right now.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasted time.
That's what I'm here for.
And that disconnect is brutal to witness. The court sees a lack of prior police reports and hears insufficient evidence. But what they don't see is the sleepless nights, the hypervigilance, the way Michelle probably flinches at footsteps. Victims are often forced to prove fear, as if trauma isn't real unless it's printed in a report. And that's the tragic irony. The very system designed to protect people often requires them to be harmed twice, first by the abuser, then by the burden of proof.